And in my recent short video, I said that men and women are in competition in relationships. And it's a fact. As much as we might don't want to admit it, every guy is in competition with his woman, whether it be his wife, his baby mother. Not every. Let me rephrase that, because you have certain people who actually still play by order and rule, right? And what I mean by order is, we all know that a man is the head of the house. I don't care what it looks like. And if you, as a woman, got a man that can't be the head of the house, you have the wrong man in the first place. And you have to understand that, especially when you're talking about committed relationships. A woman shouldn't want to be with a man who don't know how to lead, and then complain when he don't know how to lead. Oh, he's too soft, he's too nice. Well, or he's playing video games all day. Most of the time, you already knew what you was dealing with before you actually got with whoever you got with. But you don't want to admit that you made a bad choice by choosing a certain type of guy, right? So let's keep it all the way 1,000 real quick. Let's not cap on it. Even guys, let's keep it real. Some guys, they'll date a woman or even marry a woman or impregnate a woman, knowing that this woman have attitude problems. Because most times we meet people. When I mean meet, most times we start dating a person on I don't believe in that girlfriend-boyfriend thing. Most times when we get with people that we are consistently sleeping with on that type of level, most times you done build up some type of level of trust. And I ain't talking about trust in like trust to the extent where you don't think they'll cheat, or trusting to the extent where you trust them enough to sleep with them unprotected. You trust them enough to start exploring all your personal issues, your flaws, and your business, because you trust this person. You're probably spending a number of hours out the week, out the month, out the day, contacting and communicating with this person, right? So a lot of times we already know who we're dealing with before we actually have to deal with them on a different level. So we choose these people based off our own principles, right? Or based off a moment of feeling good, or a moment of good sex, or lust, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm just keeping it 1,000 with you. And so what happens is, we get with these people knowing she's want to be an alpha, knowing he's not alpha enough, and then you get with this person and then you complain. Well, the problem is, you created the problem with your choice, and life is about choices. Like I'm gonna break something down to it, and I know a lot of people gonna disagree. When you choose a person to marry, right, and if this person already got cheating habits while you're dating, what makes you think by marrying them that they're gonna all of a sudden be a faithful woman, a faithful man? Like, what in your mind got you convinced that you marrying them, or you settling down with them, you committing to them, gonna give them that same level of commitment to you? So you got to understand that everything that happens fast, it leaves quickly. And I always tell people that if you get married quick, sometimes they make it, but a lot of times it's not going to end well, because you never did evaluation. And I know a lot of y'all like, what you mean evaluation? Like, think about it. If a female know a guy around the block, hood guy, or even a business guy, whatever he is, right? And let's say he already had 2 or 3 baby mothers, or she already heard his name in the streets, he's sleeping around, and a lot of women are exploring. Even if it's good, it's like, oh, girl, he know what he's doing in the bed, blase, blase, he bought me this, he bought me that. You already curious. Like, the problem is we're too curious. You got curious, and you say, you know what? I want him too. But you might not say it out loud, so when the moment or the opportunity presents itself, you then now go try to date the same guy that you just heard done fucked everybody around your block, right? And then you call him a dog in the midst of it. Oh, he's a dog, I don't want him. And still open your legs up to him. What that say about you, ladies? And ladies don't know, women don't know how to take accountability. And I'm not on here to bash women, because it's a lot of the men's fault too. But what I'm saying is, women choose the same guys. And I see so many podcasters, and I guarantee every guy that said this and woman that said this are politically correct. All women want the same guys. If you go back even to high school, right, it's only a few of us guys that slept with most of the women. Like, I'm being real. Like, in high school, you're not rich in most cases unless you're born into rich. But most of us that come from the bottom, trailer parks and projects, we look for, we treat fame and popularity as the same, because in high school, everybody want to be popular. So the most popular dudes and the most popular females are like the rich folks into real world, right? Once we're adults. But in high school, you a popular guy. You might be the quarterback. You might be the running back. You might be the star athlete of the school, whatever it is, right? Or you might be the prom queen, whatever it is, right? So with me being a popular guy, right, and I'm talking about from experience, a lot of women, they're intrigued by that. They're not even looking at the fact that this dude is sleeping with everybody in my classroom. They're looking at the fact that he's a quarterback. She likes him. He done had her. He done had her. He done had her. So it's like, oh, I want him too. So when you get him, or you get me, or any guy that was like that in school, you tend to think that, because it's in a woman's nature to conquer the beast. And every woman feel like her vagina is the most powerful thing to the universe, right? And of course, everyone feel like they're better than the next, even if they don't say it. Even if you're humble enough, you still feel like you're the man, right? So you'll get with this guy, knowing his reputation, and then you expect for him to become this whole new created idea that you have in your head. Oh, he's not going to do that with me. Oh, he's not going to. And he may not. It all depends on the way he's at in growth in his life, right? But the problem with that is we're doing that a lot too often now in our older ages. We get 20 plus and we still doing the same thing. We still basing people off what we heard or our own curious thoughts, not of what we know. So if I know you a whore, I know the chance of you whoring around on me is very high. And that's, again, me personally, I don't have nothing against whore. I actually, think that a whore is a queen. I just feel like it takes a certain type of guy that can handle her lifestyle. And every guy can't handle that. Some guys can handle a woman being a whore while he's with her, because that may be what he is himself, or maybe that's what he himself is into, just like you have some people have open marriages, open relationships, do swinging, poly, whatever your status or your thing or how you like to do it, right? So if that's your float, maybe that type of guy can handle a whore, or maybe even that type of woman that has that mentality can handle a man who likes to sleep around a lot. That's what I mean. But if you know you are monogamous, and you only want the guy for yourself, and you know that you only want to deal with just him, you don't want to deal with other guys, why go out here chasing a guy that you know gonna sleep around with a lot of women? So you marry this guy, or you have a baby with this guy, right? And you spend 10 sometimes less, but you spend, I'm just going off the average because women do this, they'll spend 5 to 10 years of brokenness trying to fix this guy, or complaining about what he's not, or calling him no good, or saying he ain't shit. When the reality is, the problem wasn't that he wasn't the problem is that he wasn't a bad guy. The problem is that you chose him thinking that you could have changed who he was. And the problem with that is you can't change nobody. I don't care how much you love a person. You cannot change a person. A person within themselves have to realize that what they're doing is not safe or not profitable. Now, if the person doing what they're doing feel like, hey, I like what I do, I like who I am, it makes me happy, I'm okay with who I am, then you're going to have to live with it, compromise, or you're going to have to, move on. But you can't think that your words, and even the problem is you get harsh with a guy or a female when they don't change. That don't influence people to change when you start arguing and fussing and fighting. What happens is it becomes a toxic situation, which causes them to even do more because they become more curious. And guys, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you know you're a dog, and what I mean by dog, I don't just call a man who's sleeping around 1 or 2, 3 females a dog. I'm talking about a dog who humps everything that he see, has no standards. Why even try to get with a woman in the first place and be serious? Unless she's the same as you, because now you're going to take a woman that's built for faithfulness only to one guy, and that has the mindset of trying to be with one guy long term, and you're going to damage her for the guy that God really has for her by accepting the role that you know you can't play. That's like playing point guard when you know you're a shooting guard. You can't handle the ball. You play off the ball better. And a lot of y'all have to understand that, and we all have to understand it. I'm speaking from real life experiences, what I see. And women, a lot of times, they just, like I said, they just feel like in their heart and soul that they can change you. And nobody can convince a woman that she can't change a man. Once she got that in her head, it's in her head, and it becomes a part of her living. So she spends most of her day, most of her time trying to change the guy that she lays up to every night. And while she's trying to change him, He's out here trying to ventilate to other women, or vice versa. So, just a word of advice, man. Accept a person for who they are, or move on. There's no such thing as changing a person. A person has to want to change. And that's the thing with love. Love and lust can't be the same. They're not the same. And we got to stop mixing them up. You can't say because we had a great week or a great 6 months, I'm in love. You have to use love as a evaluation tool. Do this person love me for me, or do this person love me only when I'm being what they want me to be? So you have to really ask yourself those questions. But I'm not going to hold y'all time, man. I just want to give y'all my real opinion, my real thoughts on how I feel about this love thing in today's time. I just feel like it's real fucked up. I feel like it's all out of order. And I feel like it's a competition between men and women trying to figure out who's the most dominant, who's the alpha. And it got to stop. We don't need women being alphas. We don't need women taking credit on Father's Day. We don't need women trying to tell kids they're the father and mother, because that's a fucking false. You are the mother, and just let them know, hey, your dad's not present. But don't be trying to act like you are a man, because I or no other man, unless you go that route, actually wants a man. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Women, stop, and then you will have a long-lasting relationship if you can just play your position, submit to the guy. Don't be dumb in the process of submitting to a guy, but also understand that submitting don't mean slavery. It just means following his lead, letting him lead by example. And if he can't lead by example, then he ain't the guy for you. That simple, period.